It's Rich back with you for another video. We're fortunate to have this 2023 Diamond DA42 based with us here in Long Beach, and the owner was kind enough to let us take it up and show you this airplane. So we're going to take it out around Catalina. It's a really pretty day, and show you this 2023 DA42 Twin Star.
Tower, Twin Star 168 Papa Foxtrot, ready at 26 left, left turn out over the river.
November 168 Papa Foxtrot, Long Beach Tower, runway 26 left, clear for takeoff. Traffic's on a 1 mile final.
Clear for takeoff, 26 left, we'll keep it rolling, 168 Papa Foxtrot. Okay, lights, annunciators make sense. We'll do a rolling takeoff.
Manor 330 Charlie Romeo, Long Beach Tower, runway 30, clear to land.
Clear to land, 0 Charlie Romeo.
And Bonanza 0 Charlie Romeo, runway 30, clear to land, hold short, runway 26 right for traffic.
There's takeoff power, looks good. Airspeed's alive. Engine instruments are green. There's rotation speed. Positive rate of climb, gears coming up. Even at 100 knots, 1,000 feet a minute on a hot day.
Yeah, this plane is zipping.
Nice.
Really nice, smooth.
Very nice. Autopilot's on. Ooh, we got some nice marine layer. 1,200 feet a minute with 100 knots. Beautiful. Hey, Papa Fox, do you have a frequency for SoCal out here at 2,500?
Are you going more west or southeast?
South out to Catalina for some orbits.
127.2.
Thank you. Let's do a quick gear, flaps, fuel pumps. I didn't turn the fuel pumps on. Climb power set, alternate air, landing light. I got lights on that I want. All right. Okay, climbed off of Long Beach in this 2023 Diamond DA42 Twin Star. I was commenting on the taxi out. It's familiar to the one that we have and we've been flying, but man, can you tell the difference. And one big one is this airplane has air conditioning. But just the way it taxis, the noise level, a few minor subtle changes, NXI, Avionics, it's just, you know, they really did a nice job on keeping the essence of the airplane, but making some nice improvements. And this airplane has a beautiful interior. Speaking of that, and talking to the owner, he's got oxygen as an option. He's got TKS, he's got air conditioning, upgraded paint and interior. And as I mentioned before on another video we did in the Twin Star, you know, I kind of had the DA42 more maybe pigeonholed into a training airplane, but you know, here we are down at 2,500 feet and we're getting 166 knots true airspeed. And talking to the owner, he's seen as high as 194 knots true airspeed. Look at some of the book speeds, you know, commonly in the 180 knot true airspeed on, you know, ballpark 15 gallons an hour of Jet A. And you look at the purchase price, it's a very compelling airplane in my opinion if you have any aspirations for transitioning into a you know, a light jet, because you're building multi-engine time. You're not really giving anything up on cruise speed as far as, you know, making this a cross-country airplane. Saving on fuel, both in the cost of Jet A and reduced fuel flow. We're at 85% power again, and we're burning 15 an hour. So, and that's going to be true all the way up at, you know, at 15,000 feet. So, a really compelling airplane. I think if you ordered a brand new one today, you're probably looking at, 1.250 to 1.3, which isn't too far off of what a SR22 turbo is. Not to mention you have the redundancy of the second engine, which is, is significant in my opinion. So a really good case to be made for this airplane in terms of a competitor to SR22, Bonanza, Baron. A lot less money than a new Baron. I was just looking at new prices on new Barons, and they're like, approaching $2 million. I love Barons, but big price difference. As far as useful load goes, this airplane has almost a 1,300 pound useful load. And in talking with the owner, he typically uses 50 gallons, which gives him about 700 pounds of payload with 50 gallons of gas, which at 15 gallons, it's not quite 3 hours in reserve, but getting close. It's pretty nice. 3 200 pounders is 600 pounds, 100 pounds of baggage is 700 pounds. Typical trip in this airplane, honestly, is going to be, 3 to 500 nautical miles. So easily can do that in that fuel load. And then if you take full fuel, 76 gallons, then you're down to about 500 pounds. So that's two 400 pounders and 100 pounds of bags, which 100 pounds of bags is a lot. So again, looking at it in comparison with what else is out there, you don't give up anything really in useful load with this airplane. You probably gain it ultimately. Coming around the backside of Catalina, there's the airport over there. But a really G1000 NXI with ADS-B in, out, ESP protection, all the options that come with the G1000. It's still the gold standard in avionics for light GA airplanes. Okay, so looking at this airplane in terms of how the owner of this airplane kind of got to this point was, some interest in flying for a long time, and looked at airplanes and liked the idea of building multi-engine time out of the gates instead of single engine transitioning to multi-engine. And with the reliability of diesel engines, and the redundancy, this airplane's pretty benign, as we've demonstrated on other videos, on a single engine. He opted for this airplane. He's not really, as we talked about, he's not really giving up any cruise performance. And for the transition, as I've also talked about, you have FADEC engines, G1000, multi-engine, so you're able to build experience towards transitioning into a light jet. And if you look at the new light jets, or modern light jets, they all are Garmin, Avionics, and FADEC. So that makes it a really compelling argument, and that's why the owner of this airplane ended up in this airplane, because of those factors, which I think is really smart. I think is a great way to do it. Not that you're guaranteed that you're going to go into a light jet, but if you want that option, all this time that he's building now in this airplane is helping him make the insurance easier, and also just the muscle memory in this airplane is very similar to a Mustang. Yes, sir, we are done circling. We'd like to go to Eskel for the RNAV practice approach into Long Beach. So anyway, that's kind of a real-world owner pilot, not mine, but an owner pilot's decision-making process to end up with this airplane. And I think he's, based on my conversation with him, he's very satisfied with the airplane and happy with the way it's working. So that's cool to see, and it's as I've mentioned on our other videos, I'm a proponent for that transition. And this is just a great airplane, and I think Diamond is really, they've got a good platform here, and they've got some reliability, experience, customer support under their belt now, where people feel like it's a good investment. So we're gonna head back to Long Beach. We're gonna try to do the full approach from Eskel on the RNAV 30 here. 168 Papa Foxtrot's with you, 2500, head for Escal for the practice RNAV 30.
November 8 Papa Foxtrot, roger. Proceed direct to Escal, cross Escal at altitude is your discretion and your practice approach is approved.
Okay, direct Escal will cross at our discretion on the altitude and practice approach approved for 168 Papa Foxtrot. Nice, couldn't ask for more than that. Okay, we loaded up the RNAV GPS into Long Beach. We're going to do it via an initial approach fix, which is Escal. We're below the altitude, so we're not going to get to see the whole VNAV descent down to the final approach fix altitude, but we'll see a little of it. We'll get a descent down from Lusig to 1600, and so I'm going to set the power right about, I'm going to leave it where it's at. Try to do about 50% power. We'll watch this thing shoot this RNAV approach. Yeah, so we're not going to see a VNAV descent, but we're cleared for the approach. I'm going to hit the approach button. So it's just looking for the glide path. Flaps is 133, so I'm just going to come back a little bit on the power. I got pumps, flaps, and gear. Easy. Simple instrument approaches. This airplane's definitely faster, I can tell. Nice marine layer. So it went straight to the glide path. No VNAV. Okay, here it comes. Now I'm not going to put the gear down yet, but I am going to put flaps. Speed checks. Because we're still 3 miles from Gunny. We're coming downhill. I haven't touched the power, 50%. We're 3 miles from Gunny. Let's just see what happens with our speed at 50%. Okay, so we're 2 miles. Let's go ahead and get the gear down. 50% power. I haven't touched it since outside of the initial approach fix.
November 168 Papa Foxtrot, Long Beach Tower. Runway 30, cleared to land and hold short of runway 26 right for traffic.
Clear to land 30, hold short at 26 right, 168 Papa Foxtrot. 50% gear down, flaps approach, and we are half mile from the final approach fix, 115. Beautiful.
November 71 Hotel, turn left Foxtrot.
Now I'm going to leave flaps approach until we get closer. So this airplane slows down pretty fast. And we have the runway performance. If you were shooting approach down to low IFR, you could land with approach flaps and be fine.
November 4 Charlie Victor, turn your base down, runway 26 left. November 840, I'll call your base. You'll call my base.
Tower Cat 80 outside the breakwater west.
So to me, 50% power, flaps approach, gear down is how I would fly it. So we're coming up on about 500 feet AGL. When I get the 500 foot call out, I'm going to turn the autopilot off and I'm going to add flaps land. And I'm going to see what happens to the speed.
November 4 Charlie Victor, go around. Start a climb.
Actually, we didn't get a 500 foot call out. Autopilot's off.
So turn your base.
Flaps going to full. I'm just going to stay with the flight director and the power.
So now you can extend your downwind turn base.
And just see what happens here.
To the option.
There's 105.
Minimums.
There's your minimums. Down to 90, 100 knots. 90 knots.
Sling 4, sailing mix.
There's a threshold. I'm just going to bring the power back to idle.
Same altitude, less than 1 mile.
That's the 840, turn base.
A little bit of a crosswind there. And if we wanted to, we could make a taxiway, but so that works pretty good.
That's the 4 Charlie Victor, follow traffic on the upwind.
I forgot to turn my pumps on again.
November 8 Papa Foxtrot, left at Golf, contact on.
Roger.
Catalina.
Basically no brakes.
Nice. Good flight.
Flaps are up. Okay, we're on the ground here, and what a nice airplane. And Diamond's done a really nice job with this airplane. And I think they're probably sold out, like a lot of manufacturers. But
Taxi 226 right,
in my opinion, if I were a new pilot and I had aspirations to transition potentially into a light jet, then to me, there would be no question that this would be my choice over a single-engine high-performance airplane. That's not to take anything away from those airplanes. They're great airplanes too, but this makes a lot of sense in a lot of different areas. And, you know, everybody says, well, insurance, but the current owner of this airplane's got roughly 400 hours. And we were talking insurance before this flight, and based on his experience and his planning, I mean, his insurance rates, in my opinion, aren't much more. Maybe, for his level of experience, maybe 10, 15%, maybe 20% more. So, at least in his case, you can't really point to insurance as a real negative, because it's not that much more. Anyway, this is a great airplane. That was a real treat to fly a brand new one like this. This thing has like 60 hours on it, so and it's a beautiful airplane. They did a very nice job all the way around. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions about transitioning from a, you know, or contemplating getting an airplane like this in anticipation of a Mustang or a Phenom or, you know, whatever it is, M2, give us a call. We have a lot of experienced transitioning pilots like this. Have some good opportunities for that transition, so let us know, and thanks for watching.